This is the Four-Man Rush. Hello, Panther fans, and welcome to another podcast of the Four-Man Rush. I'm your host, Timmy VO, here with two of the gentlemen. Got Kennardo and Kevin. All right, we are on Christmas duty, and we're going to bring it to you swift and exact, only the way the Four-Man Rush can. Tonight, we're going to talk about, obviously, the Colts game. We didn't even score a touchdown. We'll talk about the Colts game. We'll talk briefly about Will Grier. Obviously, we didn't get to see that much of him, other than, some great footwork, some great. It's nice to see some pocket presence. That was good to see. But those young players, man, they like to try it. They like to test the waters, and one of the first things these young bucks will tell you when they come out of college into the league, the game's a lot faster. What you think is open is not going to be open for very long. So you got to be careful about that. We'll talk about the Colts game. We'll talk about some exclusive news that Kevin just picked up from his source behind the lines, and we'll talk about the locker room situation. And obviously we'll talk briefly about this Saints game coming up. I wish these guys would take it more seriously, but you got a game, fellas, and you got to play. You got to play. Come on, man. And at least end the season on a good note. We'll talk about all that, man. So, let's go ahead and jump into it. We'll start off with the Colts game, and you guys give your critique. I know it's not a lot of good to talk about, and we can't talk about bad all day long. But just give us your critique on the game, fellas, and we'll go from there. Kevin, we'll start with you. Colts, Panthers, WTF?
Yeah, well, as far as me and the game goes Sunday, I really hate sounding repetitive. It's pretty much been the same old thing that it's been. So at this point, it is what it is. And for me, what it is that we do more damage to ourselves than other teams do. And once we do our damage to ourselves, other teams just hop on it and they just, steamroll us off the field. That's pretty much where it is at this point with me. Coming into this game, there was opportunities that we could take advantage of. They had several players missing on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. And it's just another bad game in a season of bad games. This current losing streak now is up to 7 games. We was 5-3 after we beat Tennessee, and that's the last time, we've heard Sweet Caroline play after a game.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I personally have to go on YouTube Music to know what that song sounds like. I almost forgot the lyrics because we haven't had a reason to truly sing it like it's meant to be sung. Offensively, we didn't even score a touchdown. So it's just another lackluster performance in all areas. Offensive line still inconsistent blocking. Pass play or run play. We'll see some good here and there, but overall the lack of consistency from this unit continues to limit us offensively. I know that Christian McCaffrey is playing out of his mind and trying to do everything that he can to, stick as many of his talented fingers in the dam to stop all these leaks. But at the end of the day, that man only got 10 fingers and 10 toes. And right now we got about 40 leaks. So it ain't but so much that he can do. We'll get into a little bit more about his chase for the elusive 1,000 club a little bit later on. Defensively, giving up third downs, whether it's by bad play or penalties. Vernon Butler losing his damn mind. I'm officially, and let me put this on record because anybody that's know me about Vernon Butler, I've been by far his biggest fan, his biggest supporter. Found every silver lining to give this man to show why he can be a key piece to this team. But after that display, my hands are done with him.
Done.
I don't need that type of player representing the jersey that I proudly called my team. That was uncalled for. That was totally idiotic. That was boneheaded, whatever words you want to describe. Me, I just call it for what it is. That was a dumbass play by a player that was getting his ass handed to him and he couldn't handle it.
Exactly.
And, you're going to do a sucker move like that? I personally have no more room to tolerate him on a Carolina Panther roster. If by some unforeseen measure he does, I'll suck it up, but I'm no longer on the Vernon Butler train when it comes to that. Mm-hmm. Special teams, wow. We had said throughout this losing streak, the one thing that's been steady was special teams play. Well, I guess they decided to join the suck party too, because they absolutely let an unknown returner. If I'm not mistaken, I think he earned Special Teams Player of the Week.
Yeah,
we're known to get people paid this year, folks.
Yeah, man.
It's two punt returns getting up for touchdowns. Another third long return that set up another touchdown. And when we watch it on film, players are just not staying disciplined. There are several players all in the same area, and one moved to the outside, and it was off to the races. Mm-hmm. And we was, last episode we was talking about how, it'd be nice if we kept Chase Blackburn, around for the next regime. I'm not gonna let one bad game, get rid of that, but that kind of display would make it hard for whoever's coming in to consider, keeping you around. But for me, it was just another piss poor performance by a piss poor team, and that's all I can say about it, Tim.
All right, man. Dang. I had that game in the back of my head, and then it came all back again. Dadgummit. But we got to talk about it, man. We got to talk about it. I appreciate it, Kevin. Bernardo, your take on it, sir.
Man, quite honestly, man, Kevin pretty much summed it up. There's not really much I can say about this game. It's a bad football team at this point, man. We keep on saying this. We keep on talking about the same miscues week after week after week. This whole 7-game losing streak. We saying the same thing. Players aren't disciplined. Offensive line isn't blocking. They aren't getting to the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So the pass rush is almost non-existent. And week after week, man, it's always a different unit that lets us down. I keep on saying this. 1 week it's the offensive line. The next week it's the defensive line. This week it was the special teams that lets us down. And they came right out the gates with it, man. In the first quarter, 84-yard punt return by an unknown Nyheim Hines, just like Kevin was just saying. And then he comes back and sets up another one, a 40-yard return, that sets his team up on the Carolina Panthers 36-yard line, and they end up punching it in for another touchdown. So I think all in all, the brother had 197 yards as far as returning.
Yeah.
So that's monster numbers that he's putting out there. Almost 200 yards he puts up as far as punt returns. So this bad football teams find ways to lose. And this is 7 weeks straight, they found another way to lose. So, this team is in disarray right now. And it's not just on the field, but in the locker room. I don't think that brother has control of this locker room right now, man. Perry Farrell. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it real with that.
Yep.
I know that he just got interviewed, for a job, for the head coaching job, which I don't think he's going to get. But this is just, you look at it when Ron was here, just like I got to echo what you said, Tim. Yeah, we might have think that, things were getting out of control with Ron, but, man, these things weren't happening when he was at the helm, man.
Nah, bro.
These things weren't happening. Players weren't punching people when they were on the ground. They weren't flicking off the crowd with their middle finger. Mm-hmm. They weren't telling the crowd to fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my French. Mm-hmm. These things weren't happening. You didn't have the leaders, jumping out. Greg Olsen and McCaffrey, these guys really don't talk that much, man. They all about their play. And we're going to get some more into that a little bit later on. Yeah. That's a conversation in itself right there. That's a whole conversation. But when they start voicing their frustration, That's bad news, man. That's bad news, right? You got to take the temperature of the team, and the temperature, man, is very high right now in that team, man. It's not a good look. You go in that team, you go in that game. I mean, I know I predicted them to win. Hey, if they win, they win. If they lose, man. But to give up that type of effort right there, you don't even score a touchdown, just 2 field goals. Man, that's a shame. You got to put up a little bit more of a fight than that, man. This is, like I said, not a good football team. They're thinking about, man, their vacation right now. They're thinking about, getting up with their beautiful old women and, going to the Cayman Islands and playing some golf, smoking some cigars. They're not even focused on the game right now, man. And that's showing. That's showing, man. Like I said, man, whoever comes in next, the general manager, if it's a general manager or a head coach, they got their, man, they got a lot of work to do, man. They got a lot of work to do. Bad effort this weekend. It's not even really worth talking about, man.
No.
The only bright spot was McCaffrey, who's on that run right now for the 1,000 club. He had about 119 yards as far as receiving. I think he only needs about 63 more yards receiving to get to 1,000, and I think he can get that in the first half. And as soon as he gets that, I think you need to go in and take him out of there.
Get him out of there.
Get ahead of myself, but go ahead, man, accomplish that accomplishment. Add that feather to your cap and then get the hell out of that game, man. It's not worth it at this point. So, as far as this game, man, it's just Greer. I will get more into him as well. I know that I've given him a lot of flack over the season. Still not a fan of that 3rd round pick, but hey, man, that brother, man, he did some things that really impressed me. Yeah. And people can talk about the 3 interceptions, but 2 of those interceptions weren't his fault. Let's just call it for what it is. 2 of those interceptions were not his fault. The receivers, it was on them. They got the ball snatched out. You know what I'm saying? He put it where it needed to be. As far as his elusiveness, he knew when to get rid of the ball at times. And I was very proud of him. You know what I'm saying? Hold on to that ball. If you're going to take that sack, take the sack. Or if there's nothing there, just throw it out of bounds. When you saw that lane was open, he took that lane, no hesitation. So I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in a little right now when that lane opens up. So he really did a good job of doing that. And I think if he continues to improve, man, that backup spot could possibly be his. I don't think he'd be stepping on any toes at this point.
No.
I really don't. So I definitely think he's more talented than Kyle Allen is. And I think he could possibly, I'm really looking forward to seeing him play this weekend against a very tough Saints team. That's going to show me a little bit more right there. But the offensive line didn't do him any favors, man. We said at the beginning of the game, for this guy to have any success, you got to help him out. You got to help this kid out, man. You got to play a little bit harder this game. And they didn't give him that. He sacked, 5 times? He sacked. So, just, man, they did nothing to help this young man. He was rattled, but he did the best that he could do as best as he knew how. And I applaud him, man. I'm very proud of him. And I think he's only going to continue to improve. But this game is just this. How many times in the season do you say that I'm so embarrassed, man? This is the most embarrassed that I've been. They had a 50 burger dropped on them this year. Then they had so many blowouts this year. It's just like this is just another one. It's almost like you get numb to it after a while, which isn't good. And I'm just numb to the blowouts right now. And at this point, man, I'm just ready for it to just be over with, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Just like Greg Olson says, and it stuck with me, the fans deserve better. Exactly. I love that man for saying that because, he's here all these years. He cares about the fans, what they think, and he's right. The fans do deserve better than the product that they're put down on the field. Why should people spend their hard-earned money to go see him when they know that they're not going to give 100% effort? No, that's just where I'm at with it. For next week, saying, why should somebody spend their hard-earned money to see that? If that's the type of effort that they're going to give week in and week out. The same mistakes week after week after week. When a child puts his hand on a hot stove one time, you think he learned his lesson, right?
Yeah, I would hope so.
Oh, well, yeah. It's the same thing right here. You're making the same mistakes week after week after week. You haven't learned your lesson from it. And it's not all talent, man. The talent is there. We got the talent. The talent is there, man. Yep. So, man, what else is going on? We going to get into all of that, man. But, it's just, man, very, very disappointed, man. Very disappointed. And it's just another opportunity for the Indianapolis Colts, even though they're not going to the playoffs. Hey, they get to end things on a high note, but they beat us. You know what I'm saying? So we just been passed around the last several weeks, and that's very embarrassing. That's all I got to say for that, man.
No doubt, man. As far as I go, man, it seems to me, and Greg Olson touched on this in the interview that he did after the game, man. It's guys just don't they're not taking the game serious. They're not. It's like hero ball has gone, ape shit. It's kind of say, it's just gotten worse. We saw hero ball here or there early on, but we were winning. Now when we're losing, people just really getting out of line and just flying to the same gap, and it's just horrible, man. I agree with you, man, but CMC has done more than his share to keep this team afloat, man, and it's. I hate it for him, dude. I really do. I hate it for him because he's giving 120% each and every damn game, man. And it seems like guys don't even respect that. You know what I'm saying? It's like I mean, some guys are going hard. I ain't saying everybody's just falling off. Some guys are going hard. I mean, in the chat, if I'm not mistaken, in our chat, Kevin, if I'm not mistaken, I think Will mentioned that Paradis is actually getting better over the past couple of weeks, in his protection and blocking his blocking scheme. Is that right?
Yeah, actually, that is correct. Over the past, including this game and the Colts, over the past 3 games, Paradis has been more consistent with his blocking, been able to put together more positive plays and negative plays. Every once in a while, he'll still get, bum rushed or take a whiff, but overall, those plays are far fewer, and he's making far more impactful plays. Particularly getting to the second level to linebackers, and also maintaining the block after the double team from the guard. So. As I stated with Paradis, I know a lot of people want to throw him under the bus, because he's been ranked the worst starting center in the NFL. And I get that. I mean, his play this season has been, downright horrible. But as we stated on here, the reasons why. We're talking about a man that, 12 months ago just had surgery from a broken tibia, broken left leg. And pretty much was very limited as far as off-season conditioning goes. And anyone that's ever played football, particularly in particular lineman, knows that is critical as far as, getting the flexibility and the leverage and the strength. And, if you're basically going from the rehab table to the practice field to the game field without having that, then yeah, this is the results of what happens. But yeah, I mean, he's someone that, as I stated, I think will be a better player for us in 2020. Now, because he is only on a 3-year deal, and this will be the second year of that 3-year deal, by no means I am not opposed to us drafting an interior lineman that can play the center position, center and guard, for us. Definitely not opposed to that. So, but I definitely think that someone that was the number 2 rated center in 2018 does not go from 2 to 32 without reason that's logical. So I'm looking forward to seeing what a full off season will show from us in Paradis. And, you listeners out there, feel free to call me out if I'm wrong again next year. I've had a few crow burgers already for this season. So, when I find out the reasons why a player's not performing, it's not excuses, but it is reasons why. I'm willing to be more patient to see the results, because, on film prior to his leg getting broken, he was easily a top high level player at the center position in the NFL.
So there's some good news out there of Panther fans. unfortunately, we just have to wait for all these things to come together, and and then make our assessment and go forward from that point. Man, it's just wow. This waiting game is something. And during the waiting, we have to keep looking at this subpar football team that came out of nowhere. It seemed like, because if you guys have been following us since OTAs and training camp, heck, we thought we was gonna have one heck of a season. It's just disheartening, but at the end of the day, folks, we do have pieces on this team that can take us places. We just gotta keep pounding. We just gotta keep pounding. That's the bottom line. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on. We have disgruntled players, of course, but we've not the 4-man rush, but the Panther organization has been looking at some coaches. One Mike McCarthy was interviewed most recently. Canardo, you wanna speak on Coach and what you know about him? For some of these folks might not follow the Packers like that.
Yeah. The coach that you're speaking of is Mike McCarthy, man. I've been on board with him since day one, really. You know what I'm saying? Even before, there was talk about, possibly, interviewing him. I know he got fired, not too long ago in Green Bay. And I think I know who the culprit is behind that, Aaron Rodgers. Let's just call it for what it is. It was between him and Aaron Rodgers. And who do you think the organization is going to pick at that point? So they made their decision. I think he's a man's man. He's an offensive-minded coach. I think that's something that, a direction we need to go on right now. I think a lot of people will disagree with me with that, but oh well. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I think, he's been in the game for a long time, and he's done some great things with the Green Bay Packers. Some people could say that, and I've heard a lot of people saying this, so, Aaron Rodgers made him, but I disagree with that. I think, man, he really had control of that locker room, and he did a lot of great things there. So, definitely be on the lookout for that. I think he is going to be the next head coach of the Carolina Panthers, especially from what Kevin just said. As far as, 2 weeks from now, we're going to know who the head coach is. What better option do you have out there right now? I'm looking at all the options right now as far as collegiate level and professional. I don't think you'll find a better head coach out there right now. And I think that he can do some things with what we have here in Carolina. We don't have to start from ground zero. And I think that that's the type of coach that you could bring in. You can kind of, work with Cam Newton when he comes back healthy. I think he'll come back healthy. Offensive weapons that you have, McCaffrey, the most explosive player, I keep saying it, in the league. And you have DJ Moore, then you have Curtis Samuel. So the pieces are in place. The talent is there, guys. Don't give up just yet, man. It's there. But you just kind of need somebody to gel it together. And I think that Mike McCarthy, he's the right person for it. Ron Rivera, defensive-minded coach. He was part of the Chicago Bears. That's what he was. But you kind of need somebody else, man, along with Scott Turner, to kind of, combine him, him and Mike McCarthy together, and they can come up with something special. So that's really why I have my eye on Mike McCarthy. I think he will be the choice in the next few weeks. And I think he's going to do some great things in Carolina. Just stay tuned. It's going to take a little time. But some things you're going to see immediately. You're going to see some things immediately, and some things it's going to take a few years to see. But that's really my take on Mike.
Hey, Kevin, what's McCarthy's? Now we know he's an offensive-minded coach, but what sets him apart from other coaches in terms of his approach?
Yeah, well, it's good that you asked me that, Tim, because I was actually looking at McCarthy's NFL background here. Quite interesting, just to give you all some insight. Mike McCarthy entered the NFL in 1993. He was hired by then head coach Marty Schottenheimer. He basically worked 2 years as a offensive quality control coordinator in 93 and 94. Then 1995, through 1998, he was the quarterback coach for the Kansas City Chiefs. He worked with guys like Rich Gannon, Elvis Gerbach, and Steve Bono. Anyone that's followed NFL back then knows that those guys put up some very solid, productive numbers during that time.
Yep.
When Schottenheimer resigned after the 98 season, McCarthy went on to become the Green Bay Packers quarterback coach that year in 1999. And Brett Favre threw for 4,000 yards that year, which was the best total for him. But after that season, the entire Packers coaching staff was released after the 99 season. So McCarthy went down to New Orleans and was the offense coordinator for the New Orleans Saints, believe it or not. He was the New Orleans Saints offense coordinator from 2000 to 2004. During that time, he was voted the NFC Assistant Coach of the Year in 2000 for, being recognized for his work. Obviously, for those that remember, that was the time when Ricky Williams was that guy, after they traded their entire draft to get him. But we'll leave that there.
Mm-hmm.
In 2005, McCarthy went out to become the offense coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. So he got to work with Alex Smith, who was the number 1 overall pick that year. And after that 1 year stop in San Francisco, he was interviewed by the Packers general manager January 8th, 2006. And 3 days later, he became the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. So from 2006 to 2018, which is 12 seasons, he was the Green Bay Packers head coach. His overall record is 125 wins, 77 losses, 2 ties. Winning percentage is 618, so 61%, almost 60% of his games. 10-8 record in the postseason. So, just going over his NFL background, he is someone that is definitely the offensive mindset, working with quarterbacks, working with different styles and different systems based on, the players that he worked with prior to becoming the Packers head coach. Obviously, working with Green Bay, he got to coach Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, one Hall of Famer and another future Hall of Famer. So, there's definitely a lot of credibility on, to go with his background. Now, I know I've seen several fans be like, man, he had Aaron Rodgers all them years, only got 1 Super Bowl. But one thing that he did by being off this past season was he said McCarthy said he's been studying exclusively the latest NFL trends and has, had other coaches, with him to look at all the current trends and nuances of today's NFL game. So he's definitely taken upon himself to evolve, his thinking and his strategy is what it would take to be a successful NFL coach. Now, I'm going to be honest, McCarthy wouldn't be my first pick, but he wouldn't be a bad pick, if McCarthy only brought 1 Super Bowl to the Carolina Panthers, Cam Newton in his term here, I'll take that.
I'll take it all day long. All day long.
For those that want to make that comparison, but
bring it.
McCarthy is an interesting choice. And, he had the interview. I think he was someone that, if hired by the Carolina Panthers, he does qualify to fit the mold of what Mr. Tepper said he was looking for. He said someone with old school discipline. Anybody that worked up under Marty Schottenheimer definitely knows old school discipline, for those of us that know what type of coach Marty Schottenheimer was. Mm-hmm. So that part there, and by him, like I said, spending the entire 2019 season learning the nuances of NFL trends. So, he definitely put himself in position to be someone that could possibly be an option. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I definitely like his ability to be innovative. He was innovative at Green Bay, to be honest with you. I just from what I remember when Green Bay came to B of A and played us, of course watching them during his tenure there, they seemed to do a lot of 4 wide, 5 wide, and then they'll go jumbo on you out of nowhere. He was a heck of a offensive minded coach then. If he's been, just studying, you already got a great mind like that. And he's just been sitting back studying, diagnosing the new trends and things of that nature, man. With Christian McCaffrey, he has to be salivating about that. Getting a healthy Cam and a McCaffrey with that type of, oh my gosh, dude. Whew. Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, if you invest in that O line with the healthy Cam and McCaffrey, I mean, look what McCaffrey did behind this farce of an offensive line. That's scary.
That's
This man
scary.
could possibly get 1,000 with a substandard offensive line with a backup quarterback. So inject talent on the offensive line, inject a healthy, even more motivated, competitive Cam Newton with also a highly motivated coach such as a McCarthy. I mean, it could be very, very interesting. I want to, sell no dreams here, but it's definitely something worthwhile. And Tim, me, I'm always, looking up the numbers.
Yeah, go for it.
A lot of people want to, piss on McCarthy because he said he only won one Super Bowl in all those years with Aaron Rodgers.
That's
but
ridiculous.
One thing I'm looking at is consistent winning. When Aaron Rodgers, after Brett Favre left in 2008, with Aaron Rodgers taking over in 2009, the Packers' record was 11-5 in 2009. 2010, when they won the Super Bowl, they were 10-6. The next year, they came back in 2011, 15-1. 2012, 11-5. 2013, they were 8-7-1. 2014, 12-4. 2015, 10-6. 2016, also 10-6. And then his last two seasons, 2017, 7-9, and 2018, 4-7. Obviously wasn't great, but from 2009 to 2016, you're talking about consecutive winning seasons.
Yep.
This is something that we've never known as Carolina Panther fans. So, only won one Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, but was in the playoffs for 8 straight seasons.
Yeah.
As well. And I'm looking at the end results. Lost the NFC Championship game, division round. So not only were they getting in the playoffs, but they were making noise as well. So. For those that want to just write out McCarthy solely off of that, I think you got to dig deeper and realize that a lot of times they didn't have a defense to complement what Aaron Rodgers and his offense was able to put up as well. So, I'm just saying be more open-minded, as far as the idea of Mike McCarthy.
Canardo, you have anything to add? I know you already spoke on Coach.
Man, just what Kevin just said, man. Be open-minded to the situation and do your research too, man. Just don't listen to what ESPN is regurgitating day after day, Fox Sports.
Right.
Don't just listen. Don't just take our word for it.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
The internet has more than just Facebook and Instagram. And you got Google too. That's your friend right there. So research this man, what he's done in his career, and just realize that it takes more than one person to win. And Aaron Rodgers, he's a generational talent, great guy, but it takes more than one person to win games. And, he wasn't just the only person on that field winning those games. So, man, keep an open mind about that as well. But, man, like I said, I think we want somebody experienced. You can talk about a college coach all day, every day if you want, but I don't really want a college coach. I don't really want a coordinator. This guy is proving, what he can do in this league. So that's what I want next. As far as him, McCarthy, I think he fits the bill with everything that we want right now.
So my thing would be this: who would be our DC? Who would be our defensive coordinator? And would McCarthy keep Scott Turner around, because Scott has a great relationship with Cam already?
I think you got to keep Scott at this point, man. You look at what he's been doing. He's been a little bit more creative than his father the last few weeks. If you take notice of that,
that's true.
As far as Curtis Samuel, we've been calling for it all year. The guy has to get his ball in his hands. If you're not going to pass it to him, I know there was one play, man. They actually handed it off to him in the backfield. I mean, just he didn't get many yards off of it, but it's showing that he's trying new things and he's being more creative. So, as far as offensive coordinator, I think you have to keep him. As far as defensive coordinator, man, we got to look around a little bit right now. There's some options to be made. So, as you know, man, you've got a lot of work to do in the defense. I don't have an answer for that right now. So I'm not just going to shout out a name. Kevin might be able to give you a better answer with that. But, man, as far as offensive coordinator, I think that's a deadlock. You got to keep Scott, for sure.
Kevin?
Yeah, as far as defense coordinator goes, someone that I've mentioned to you guys in the chat, particularly as I mentioned earlier with the IG Live, Tim, that as far as someone that's that kind of favors the 3-4 hybrid that we tried to move over to. I'm a fan of Rex Ryan, actually, as a defensive coordinator. You look at his background and pedigree. He came from the Baltimore Ravens, and their stellar defenses during their prime years with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. He definitely knows all about the 3-4 and these hybrid fronts. Definitely responsible for putting together some of the top defenses in the past 15, 20 years. And even when he went to head coaching jobs with the New York Jets and the Buffalo Bills, always had very strong defenses, but never had the offense and the skill players to challenge New England to overtake it. But you look at his resume, he's someone that defensively always gave Tom Brady and New England fits. And if you can trade wits with Belichick and Brady, and the only reason they beat you is because you don't have a quarterback, I would think that a guy like him would love to get a hold of talents like Luke Kuechly, Brian Burns, Shaq Thompson, and if we're able to resign, someone such as James Bradbury, even Dante Jackson. I believe that Rex would come with a type of energy and swag that would relate to the players. And, he's someone that, stands up for his players. He'll cuss you out, but he also, congratulate you and celebrate with you as well. Yep. So, I'm definitely a fan of Rex Ryan. I know currently he's on ESPN as an analyst, does a great job breaking down. He also is petty on the low key when you listen to how he comments, particularly, how he quarterback for the Browns.
Mayfield.
What's his name?
Oh, Baker
Mayfield.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield. Him and Rex Ryan had a little back and forth, and but he called him out for the truth, and Baker couldn't handle that. So I like what Rex Ryan brings personality wise and X and O wise here as well, and I think that depending on who we hire, I think that with his defensive knowledge and background and like his energy and his knowledge, I think it would be a good fit if we were to maintain this hybrid front.
Like I said before, folks, I can't wait. Like I said before, I cannot wait to the off season. This previous off season was kind of exciting, because Cam was coming off that shoulder, and we were looking at McCaffrey, and we thought, we signed what we thought was going to be some key pieces to the offensive line, and we got Gerald, and yikes. Now we might have a Super Bowl winning coach as our head coach, who won a Super Bowl as head coach, mind you. We could potentially have Rex Ryan, architect of the AFC defense. They used to, like Kevin mentioned, used to screw with Brady and Belichick's heads and things of that nature. Man, I mean, these are good things. These things could be wonderful. Hopefully we can get the right pieces in line on the trenches and take care of business. But I would like McCarthy. I would really like that. If that kind of mind has been studying offensive trends of today with this type of skill set in the backfield on the edge, and wow, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome. So last game of the season, folks, New Orleans Saints. What to do. Now, this is a home game, correct?
Yes, sir. This will be the home game. This will be the 2019 season finale. And with the Saints having a decent shot at possibly, if things happen with other teams, could possibly get the number one overall seed in the NFC. Trust me, they're coming guns blazing this coming Sunday. So, yeah.
Yeah. You going to be there, Kev, of course?
Yeah, man. I got to keep the streak going, man. Every home game since 2011. You know how I do.
That's right. You heard that, folks. So what's your excuse? Get your ass to the game. Quit playing games. So yeah, Breeze coming through. This defense couldn't stop a nosebleed with a sledgehammer. I don't know what we're gonna do, bro. What's the plan, Canardo? You think we have a chance with Will Greer at the helm in this O-line?
They don't have an iceberg's chance in hell this weekend, man. It's just like Kevin just said, man. They still have a chance, man, to get that number one seed in the NFC. So they're going to come out, with a vengeance, and they're going to try to embarrass us like they always do. They already don't like us as it is. So I just don't see a scenario where we even come out looking good. I don't even see that. So I think even if they played their second string, it would be a problem. That's just where I'm at. That's how bad we are. A bad team. Not a mediocre team, not an okay team, a bad team. And, we are going to find a way. I mean, we don't even have to find a way to lose. They just going to give it to us just like that, man.
You're right.
Michael Thomas, if you got any more records to break, man, have at it, bro. I mean, that's just what it is. He's, man, there's nothing else I can say about this team, man. It's just the effort's not there. The passion isn't, the locker room is in disarray. You got leaders, voicing their opinions out to the media right now. It's just a cluster F right now. I'm not going to curse anymore. But it's just not a good look, man. The coach, Perry, he just doesn't have things under control. It's an array of things. It's not just one person that you can point to and be like, okay, man, that's the culprit right there. It's everyone. So I'm not even going to just entertain giving a final score. I'm not even going to entertain that, man. It's not fair.
Don't do it.
But I do know that Breeze is going to have a field day. He is going to have a field day. I mean, I'm talking about it might be some record type of crap going on this weekend as far as he's concerned. Michael Thomas is going to do what he does. Kamara, he probably is going to wake up this game too. The only thing I want to see is as far as McCaffrey going to get that 1,000, man, as far as the receiving it goes, if it takes you a half or whatever, and get the hell out of that game, man.
Yep.
I'm saying it's not even worth it at this point for him to stay in there. And I know he's a very fiery, competitive individual, but get his behind up out of there after he gets that 1,000 yards receiving. And I do think it'll take him about the first half to do that. And once he does that, that's cool. At this point, it's not even about, winning the game or whatnot. I just want to see what we have at this point. I want to see more of Will Greer and the things that, he can capitalize on. Like I said, there were some things that I were impressed with. When you see that open lane, just go for it.
Yeah.
Go for that first down or whatever it is, man.
Yeah.
Continue to just, perfect your craft in that game and get that game experience so you see how fast the game is now. So continue to improve on that. This may be the last game we see Greg Olsen in a Carolina Panthers uniform. So, these are the things that I'm looking at. Yeah. I thank him for his service and all the years that he's given us and just the things he's done to the community. He's a great man, a great human being, not just a great player. It probably will be the last time that we see him. Yeah. Some other guys that, Vernon Butler, some of these guys, take a good look at this team right now because it's going to look very different next year.
Drastically.
Take a good look. Yeah, if you're a fan of some of these people, you're a fan of Irvin, you're a fan of McCoy, you're a fan of Butler, you're a fan of Greg Olsen. Take a good look at these guys, man. I'm telling you right now, because after this game on Sunday, man, it's going to be some chaos going on in Bank of America Stadium. I guarantee you that. It's not going to be pretty. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of blood and pulp going on after this game. And rightfully so. They deserve that. Right. After the product that they put on the field. And I know that we talked about we had great expectations at the beginning of the season, but that's a lesson to us right there, man. You know what I'm saying? Mark, Hurney, he brought in some key pieces and, McCoy. I was very excited about that. And, you brought in some other pieces as well. Mm-hmm. But you still have to play the game at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And Mike Tyson, one of my favorite players of all time, everyone has a plan until they get hit in the mouth.
Yeah, that's real.
And when you get hit in the mouth, man, it's all about how you're going to react.
Yep.
Are you going to be stunned for a little bit and you're going to get back up off that canvas and you're going to fight back, or are you going to lay down for the count? And right now, they got stunned early on, and they out for the count right now, man. So that's just where I'm at. Like I said, not going to entertain a final score for this game. I'm just going to be watching some things. Like I said, definitely salute, because I do think it'll be the last time we see Greg Olsen in the Carolina Panthers uniform. That's a fact. He's out of here. And he's got other things to do besides playing for a franchise that just wants to, that's getting ready to rebuild.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to rebuild right now. Yeah. He's past that. He's played in the Super Bowl. He's had 1,000-yard seasons. He's done everything, just about everything there is to accomplish. He's accomplished. Yeah. So why should he stick it out a few more years? And, and bust this behind in training camp and do all of those things to get prepared for another season when that could be another end result next year.
Yeah.
Which is probably going to be bad next year, too.
Yeah.
Just keep it funky with you.
Yeah.
But, man, just kind of guys, I know it's going to be hard, but just take a good look at the team on Sunday and enjoy yourself with your family, or your friends at the bar, wherever you may be watching the game, or live. You might be at the stadium with Kevin, but take a good look, because after that game strikes 0 on Sunday, man, I'm telling you, man, David Tepper, man, he's going to roll his sleeves up and go to work, man. Mm-hmm. And you're going to see some things happen that you don't, man, I'm telling you, it's going to be a very uncomfortable situation, but it has to be done, and it had to be done at some point.
Yes, absolutely. Kevin?
Well, yes, week 17, it's ironic, since we've been here, they done dropped the prices even lower.
No.
Earlier today, lowest price was $40. Now it's $35. And actually, that's in my section 550, row 22, which is 3 rows in front of me, because I'm section 550, row 25. So, if it's anything like what happened when we went to Atlanta, folks, I'll say wait till Saturday or heck, even Sunday morning, depending on how far you got to come, and just purchase your tickets. Because when we got to Atlanta, tickets were like $28 that Friday night. And when we woke up that Sunday morning, it was $16. So, hey, it could very well, drop down even lower into the 20s. So, if you're just a diehard Carolina Panther fan, or you just want the experience of saying you was at the stadium and went to a game, if you want to enjoy the experience for everything outside of expecting to win, then, economically, I know it's the holidays. So if you need something to treat yourself, or something that's very cost effective, treat yourself to coming to the stadium, man. I'm just going to keep it real with you. I don't want to
spend that Christmas money.
I have no, my optimism left, when we lost at home to Atlanta. So, I don't have any silver lining to sell you guys on to even give you a remote possibility. Now, the only thing that I will say, because it's factual, we're pretty much the same roster we have now. We did take New Orleans while they was at home down to, it was we lost that game 38-35.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's really changed is the quarterback. Same offensive line, same defensive line. So, we got them on grass instead of turf. But, hey, they went to Tennessee, who's a much more better team, and they pretty much showed that they are motivated to show that they can win outside. So, potentially could be competitive, but, not likely based on what's on the line, because I think one of the tiebreakers could be, points scored. So don't be surprised if the Saints don't try to run up the score on us. It could, like Bernardo said, it could turn into be something very ugly. We could be looking at potentially another 40, possibly 50 burger dropped on us at home. So if you just want to enjoy a post-Christmas breakaway, 3 hours, and just be in a different setting, put your feet up on the chair in front of you, because likely it's going to be empty.
True.
Hey, come down to Bank of America, get you a ticket, and take a last look at this 2019 team. Obviously, when they're on defense, cheer on third down, and like they say, any given Sunday. But realistically, here, I really don't have any logical faith to even, believe that myself, as much as it is a possibility. I just don't have it. So, but Saints, Saints are playing for the possible number 1 seed. And, it's all about pride. I think something that Will mentioned in a previous podcast is that he wants one thing that not only did Mr. Temple's looking at, but whoever potentially could be our next coach is going to look at the effort we put in on the very last game. Who's still playing like they want to be here? Who's still getting excited and pumped up and hyped after a tackle or after making a big play? Who's still just excited about the game of football? And that's something I want to look at here. I've been asking for it for the last several weeks since this losing streak. I would just like us to play a game where we don't do the mistakes ourselves to cause loss. If we can play a game with no turnovers and maybe 1 or 2 penalties, and we still get beat, I can deal with that. But when it's 8 or 9 penalties and 4 or 5 turnovers and 6 or 7 sacks, it's just hard. It's just hard to stomach. I can take, losing to the better team because they're the better team, but helping the better team because, we're just inept to getting out of our own way is just definitely hard to swallow. So, heck, I'll put a score out there. New Orleans Saints 49, Carolina 17.
Interesting. That's gracious of you. I don't think we're going to score a touchdown. That's just me. But like you said, though, man, we have the same personnel basically as the last time, and we put up 35. So, I mean, who knows, man? Rival games are crazy. Rival games are crazy. But
yeah, they are, because even when we played them earlier, I mean, they were still playing for having one of the top records then. So really, I don't see them even being any too much more motivated to try to win the game now as they were back then. It's not like they were, didn't have nothing to play for when we met them back on November 24th, just a month ago, still vying for one of the top records in the NFC. I think they clinched division after they beat us, or the next game after that. But with the same squad, we took them to the wire. So potential could be a competitive game. I'm just not going to be foolishly optimistic to put that out there. So, it is what it is.
Well, I'll be a little optimistic, man. Maybe these guys are going to bring the wood last game at home. Alvin Kamara didn't get off on his last game like he normally does. So I'll be looking for him to get off a little bit on this. I'm going to say, because they got to put up points, I'm going to say it's going to be like 30. It's going to be 38-20. I don't see us scratching 24, but it'd be nice. It'd be nice. Hell, it'd be nice if we win the damn game. Shit. But I just don't see it, man. I'm not quite sure that locker room is going to shore up and bring that competitive spirit on all phases. Especially after what I've heard from some of those veterans, man, and just the body language is I don't know. I don't know, man. But I'm gonna hope for the best. I'm gonna hope for the best. And folks, if you go down there on Sunday, you got enjoy yourselves. There could be a bunch of fellow Panther fans down there, and it's a rival game. I'm sure everybody's gonna have big boxes of Bojangles and some homemade chili and some chicken chilies and all kind of stuff, man. Barbecuing. Go just enjoy yourself with the fellow Panther fans and man, keep pounding, get loud in there. Right on. All right, guys, you got any closing remarks?
Yeah, I got some, but if Cornado got some, he can go first.
All right, G.
And just fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, this is it. This is the finale. Whether we like, or dislike the way that things went this season, and obviously we disliked it. This is it right here. But like I said, man, once again, man, a lot of things happened this season. It's been a whirlwind. We lost our longtime head coach in Ron Rivera. We miss him. We love him. Did a lot of great things for us. There are going to be several more players, man, just that are going to be here next year. So thank them for their services, man. Take one good look at them again, and that's going to be that. But man, if we want to be champions one day, these are the type of seasons that you got to have every once in a while. You look at a lot of organizations across the league; they were not always a good team. We already talked about one of them, New England Patriots. They were not always a good team. Yeah, and I know in the 90s they were terrible. I remember that as a little kid vividly, how bad they were. But you look at them now. Pittsburgh Steelers, they've been a consistent franchise, but they've had their bad seasons as well. So, don't take this as, just us, we just laying down and, I mean, hey, man, we still haven't had back-to-back winning seasons. So these are things that we need to correct right now, and it is going to be corrected. You just got to trust the process. I know I sound like a broken record player right now, but hey, this is what we got to go through, guys. You got to go through the furnace. You got to go through the fire, in order to turn into gold, man. And I think that is going to happen. And it's just going to take some time. But enjoy the game. No matter what happens, if you're going to be there, you're traveling. Be safe on the highways and byways as you travel to the Bank of America Stadium, and try to have a good time with it, man. And that's it. But it's definitely been a forgettable season, but brighter days are coming in Carolina. And we will hear Sweet Caroline being played a lot of times in the future. A lot of times, man. So, man, just keep your heads up, everyone. God bless.
Kev?
Yeah, as far as my closing remarks, just some things that was released prior to us coming out here. It's been confirmed that wide receiver DJ Moore is in concussion protocol. This happened as a result of Sunday's game. The situation with Vernon Butler at this time will be handled internally, and as far as any discipline from the club, it just seems like it's, they're going to deal with it in-house as of right now. For those that say we should release them after that, that'll be like, cutting our own self off, because that would affect our ability to get a comp pick if we did that. So personally, I say have them inactive or just don't play them. Probably inactive, but we'll see depending on how many healthy bodies we got. But he definitely doesn't deserve to play, in my opinion. And also here, for those of us that are Christian Miller fans, the rookie we drafted out of Alabama, was asked why he hasn't played much. And what it says here, based on what Coach Fuel said, Christian Miller has played in just 7 games all season, has not been active since Week 13 loss to Washington. Coach Fuel says that it's clear that some of the other players are more game ready than he is at this point in time. He's improving and trying to improve in every day aspect. We're trying to get him bigger and stronger, obviously, so he has an opportunity to get on the field so he can be successful. So for those of us that's been asking about Christian Miller, he is healthy, but according to Coach, he's not game ready. I don't know if he means from an X and O standpoint or just physically. He's only played in 7 games. He's been inactive the last 3 games. So, yeah, we'll something to look forward to is heading the offseason. I definitely hope that the injuries are behind him. I definitely think he has a high ceiling, a high upside, and just definitely look forward to seeing what lays ahead. But overall, as I wrap up my closing remarks, I just simply want to thank all the fans of the 4-Man Rush for vibing with us and making us the success that we're becoming. And we're glad that you're riding with us in the early stages, because it's only going to go up from here. And you can say that you was a part of the 4-Man Rush in its infancy, but as we mature and evolve into, being, a long-term entity of Carolina Panthers social media, you're definitely going to enjoy this ride we're about to take you guys on. So I just want to say personally from my heart, and I'm sure I speak the sentiments for the rest of everybody else associated with the 4-Man Rush, we thank you guys. Make sure you tell your friends about us. They don't even have to be Panther fans. They just like good, in-depth, talk about football, X and O's, logic, and things like that. Tell them to come check us out. We definitely enjoy, having all types of fans. Panther fans are not to interject with us. So I just want to say that, and definitely wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year as well.
Right on, man. Well said. Well said. Yeah, you're right. You definitely speak for all of us when you say that we're really appreciative of the Panther Nation and all our listeners and followers of the Four Man Rush. We're more than just Carolina Panther football, even though that's 98% of it. We definitely dig into the X's and O's of football as a whole. And there's a lot of ex-football players out there who, don't necessarily talk about the game in detail, since they left the locker room, and we try to bring that appeal back to you, coaches, players, parents of football players. The Four Man Rush is here for you, absolutely. So on behalf of the Four Man Rush, Kevin Kennardo, myself, Timmy VO, we'd like to thank you guys again for dropping by and checking out the Four Man Rush podcast. If you're not aware of the Instagram Live pre-game, so to say, pre-game chat that we have here on the Four Man Rush podcast before we start recording, head on over to our Instagram page. Subscribe, like, you'll get a notification whenever we go live or whenever we post anything. Come on, man, we have fun. We have fun pregame chat, man. Just going back and forth with my Panther fans, and just having a nice Q&A. Just talking football. It's good stuff, and we normally translate that to the podcast as a whole. So. Come on over to Instagram Live. Obviously, you need to make sure that you're following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And most importantly, check out our website at www.thefourmanrush.com. All kind of up-to-date articles and tailgate information, all kind of stuff on Carolina Panther football there. So whether you're listening to this podcast in the morning, afternoon, or evening, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're taking care of those around you. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year. Well, I'm a little early, but daggum, I like to celebrate. Happy Holidays, guys, from the Four Man Rush. And as always, keep pounding. Clear!
That was good. That was good.
Appreciate it, man. Practice. I'm practicing, man. Not a game.
Not a game.
Not a game.
Yeah, we ran cover 3 tonight. A tribute to Ron Rivera, his favorite scheme, to cover 3.
Yeah, daggone.
Hilarious, man. Very true, though. Very true. Made it happen.
Yeah, man. I'm going to interject that at in the podcast, man. I ain't even think about that.
Yeah, Tim, you got the deep middle, man. Kennardo got the idle thirds, man. Just try to keep everything in front of us. We're not going to pull a Bradbury and jump on, routes and
Yeah, don't do that underneath shit. Let everybody else get that underneath shit.
Right.
Right.
Biting. Man.
Yeah, good show, fellas, man. Yeah, I think that was a good one.
That was, man.
Yeah.
That was a good live session too, man. These cats really know their shit, man. They listening.
Yeah, that Sonya one. Yeah, she knows her stuff, man. That's what women know about.
But real, I'm just taking time to really let it breathe. So baby, just chill. Yeah. She love it. We out in public and we can just chill with my partners, and we can go back to my crib and just chill out the covers and do we call me.
The Four Man Rush is brought to you by the love and respect of and for the Carolina Panthers and Carolina Panther fans everywhere. Keep pounding. The Four Man Rush is a non-affiliate of the Carolina Panther organization. All thoughts, assessments, and content of this podcast is directly related to the Four Man Rush exclusively. Thank you.